Maybe it's going?
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going.
It's going.
Okay. Welcome, everybody.
Scratch your...
I'm going to scratch my nose, too.
Ew, gross.
My ears. Welcome, everybody, to our Facebook Live.
Facebook Live.
Yeah.
It is April 2nd.
It's April 2nd. That's right. Yesterday, well, we'll talk about that in a bit. No, yeah, that's right. First, this is the time in the program where Chris goes around and shares the video all over the place.
To all the places.
So
he's going to share.
That's right.
And I'm going to sit here and not share.
Well, we also are waiting for people to show up.
Oh, we have 2 live viewers. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So,
Paula, South Arkansas. Is it cold down there?
in Arkansas? I wouldn't think so.
It's probably warm. It's probably beautiful there. I bet it's green. Is it green? I've never been there. I bet it's amazing.
It probably is amazing.
Stephanie. How's it going, girl?
Which Stephanie?
Stephanie.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. What did I do today?
We just came from a ingredients expo.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Cool. Hi, Lori. How's it going? Yeah, we got to talk to some cool people. In fact, there's this cute lady who's going to be at the Associated Food Show tomorrow, who owns a candy company, and she makes probably delicious candies.
Yes, probably delicious.
Is there anything sugar-free? And she said no. And I said, okay, thank you.
Well, they're doing keto.
Yeah, but they had been doing keto, both of them, for 4 months. So they're loving it. So she's going to dabble in the keto candy making. So I thought that was great. So I wish her the best of luck. I can't remember her name. She's probably great, though. She seems really nice.
It's true.
Yeah.
She might even be joining this Facebook Live. Now, we did also go to a convention center called the Salt Palace Convention Center earlier today.
Yes.
Because we're doing a show. So there's a group, there's a company called Associated Food Stores that all of the kind of independent-ish grocery store chains around Utah and Idaho and a bunch of other places.
Hi, Sandra. Or Sandra.
They will frequently use Associated Foods. Anyway, all of our stuff, all of our Keto Chow stuff is made in Utah, and we're participating in the local Department of Agriculture thing called Utah's Own.
Yeah.
If you have a newer bag of Keto Chow, it actually has a little Utah's Own seal on it.
That's green.
Yep. The sample packs all have it. Anyway, so they do this show. Associated Foods does this show every year where they have all their purchasing managers come, and as a member of the Utah's Own, we were able to get into it free. We have a booth, and we're like,
okay,
it's like right here. So
we'll learn about some retail stuff tomorrow, and it may or may not come to anything, but we'll get to know some cool people, and it should be fun.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe we'll get into a couple of stores locally.
Yeah, maybe.
But the issue we keep on running into, we hear about all the problems that people
lots
have with retail, and I mean, just watch Shark Tank. They don't particularly like retail. Every time people are like, I want to do retail, and they're like,
I'm going to get eaten alive.
Sure you want to do retail?
Well, and protein powder is a pretty competitive space, so they should have come out with something more unique.
Well, it's difficult for people, it's difficult to communicate this is a keto, even though it's called Keto Chow, but it's difficult to communicate in retail what it is that you're
without
doing.
Being there. That's
so
hard.
Anyway, but we're going to do it. It'll be interesting. We're actually doing it for the next 2 days, which is the reason why everything is so crazy for us, because I mean we're getting ready for the Keto Salt Lake show.
And FitCon is next week. That's another show we do that's here in Salt Lake. That's way fun and really big. So it's really fun.
But we are looking forward to seeing all of our all of our friends and stuff. What is it?
It was a piece of fuzz.
Oh, you sure it wasn't Keto Chow? So I just did a video.
It wasn't Keto Chow.
I was doing a video on how to mix up Keto Chow with butter.
It's really good.
Hopefully I'll have that posted relatively soon. The problem is I only have about an hour at work tomorrow before we have to go to the show. So
before we get to go.
Yes. Chris Sands says retail is definitely overrated. Maybe just Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon is overrated too. Speaking of an unrelated note, I think I want to get extensions. What do you guys think?
Well, because Miriam was talking to Megan Ramos about it, so. Anyway.
I think it sounds awesome. I want to do it. It's going to be my next prize for my weight loss.
Okay.
Hi, Emily.
Everyone, apparently, they sent you a whole bunch of hearts saying that you should get
extensions.
Extensions, I guess.
Hair extensions. It'll be hard. I think it'll be hard for me because I have curly hair. And so if I have straight extensions, then I'll have to straighten my hair all the time. So I'm like...
So Chris wants to know, do you have a list of savory variants of the chicken soup? You mentioned the tomato soup. If you go to... I'll just post the link. If you go to ketochow.xyz/ I think it's recipes. Let's see.
We can figure this out.
Recipes.
In the meantime, you want to see my cute nails? Oh, one actually fell off. Excuse me.
It is /recipes.
It's spring. See the flower. It's so cute. And the one sparkling one.
It's so great.
And this one fell off because I was cleaning the trailer and I had a microfiber cloth and it stuck to my sparkle nail like Velcro and it just ripped it right off. And I need to go back and get it fixed.
Okay.
I know that's very important to you.
It's super important. So I just posted the link to the recipes page, and a couple of weeks ago I went through and added tags to every recipe on our site based off of whether or not I use Keto Chow and whether or not, and which flavor of Keto Chow it uses. So I just posted a link. That'll take you to all of the recipes that use keto, savory chicken soup as an ingredient.
There you go.
But really, it can be as simple as just drinking the savory chicken soup straight, or adding broccoli to it and cheese, or adding some clams to it,
crab,
or just any number of things.
You can add anything you want. Emily said.
Oh, exciting Rebel Creamery news. Apparently, if one grocery store in a chain carries an item, another location can order us. This will save us an hour round trip.
Yay!
And you guys are in Florida, right, Emily? That's fantastic.
That's so awesome. I heard that the Florida Costco is good.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done sharing.
Okay,
let's talk about what we got going on.
What do we have going on?
So...
Keto Chow Zero.
No,
it's not on sale.
Keto Chow Zero is not on sale. So yesterday, we introduced a brand new flavor of Keto Chow.
He was so excited.
It's called Keto Chow Zero. It's vegan. It's paleo. It's dairy-free. It's non-GMO. It has no sweeteners. It has no artificial flavorings.
Nerd.
It's calorie-free. It's low, it's no sugar, no fat, pretty much checks all the boxes. And so we introduced it yesterday. Everybody was really excited. We got some great comments about it on our Reddit thread. And it is fat-free, by the way.
It gave us a giggle.
It was our April Fool's joke. It's the Keto Chow electrolyte drops. I made a fake bag for it. Called it Keto Chow Zero. And I also put that it was organic.
Yeah.
Even though it's completely inorganic. And we had a lot of people who thought it was real. Like a lot. They're like, what the heck? It's got
water.
It's great, all this stuff. And they're like, is this just water? I'm like, it's not. It was the electrolyte drops. I was describing the Keto Chow electrolyte drops. I did put that it was not low in sodium. And someone said, wow, it's chemical free. And it's like, no, it has chemicals. It has dihydrogen monoxide. water. It also has sodium chloride, potassium citrate, and magnesium chloride, along with other elements. But
your geek is showing.
My geek is showing. Anyway, but that we got a good laugh out of the Keto Chow Zero. So hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet, it's on the blog.
Oh, somebody made a mad face.
Somebody made a mad face. What?
They must not like us.
They were mad that they wanted to get Keto Chow Zero. You can have Keto Chow Zero. It's Keto Chow electrolyte drops. And we do have an unflavored version of Keto Chow. It's called the base powder. You just have to add whatever protein powder you want. Anyway, so chocolate. Chocolate's on sale this week. Yeah. Everybody kept saying, when are you guys going to have chocolate on sale?
Now.
It's on sale right now.
That's not an April Fool's joke.
That is not an April Fool's. I even put in the description because I knew that people would be like, are you sure? Yeah, for realsies. It's on sale. Chocolate is. So if you want some,
get some.
Go get it.
Chocolate.
It's fantastic. The video that I recorded tonight was mixing up chocolate with warm water and melted butter with an immersion blender to make chocolate keto chow with butter. It's amazing.
Amazing.
So I took Miriam's suggestion to ask for strawberry flavor.
Good job.
All right. Today, by the way, in case you haven't been seeing the daily video updates, today's day 91.
Yeah, I'm counting down the days till
of my 100 days of keto chow. It's day 90 was yesterday, so I'm on the downhill slope now. But she couldn't see the flower on Miriam's. Hold on, I'm gonna have to zoom in. Sorry, everybody. Hold on a second.
This is really important here. I'll cover up my blank nail.
This is super important.
My fingers are so awesome.
We'll put them closer to the middle. No, other way. There we go. Okay, we're done with that.
Cute.
Anyway, so today's day 91 of my 100 days of keto chow, where it's the only thing I'm eating is keto chow for all of my meals. It's going really well, especially since I switched over to having butter for my fat source. When I was doing avocado oil, I like the lower carbohydrates of avocado oil. I like that a lot. But I don't particularly like the flavor of the avocado oil. So when I'm doing keto chow with avocado oil, I'm not anxiously awaiting my next meal, which is really how it should be. That's how it is when I do it with heavy cream. Well, now that I'm doing it with butter, yeah, I'm looking forward to every meal. I got home today and it's like, oh sweet, I get to have my keto chow.
It's really good. If you guys haven't tried it yet, you're missing out.
Well,
I can't believe we haven't been recommending this.
I know. Well, it's because we didn't know you could do it.
It's so good.
The assumption was it would separate, and it doesn't.
And we never ever tried except for the soup. That was the reason why we tried it, is because we got the soup. It tastes good with the soup.
It does taste good with the soup.
The heavy cream tastes good with the soup, too.
That's true.
The heavy cream tastes good with the tomato soup.
Yeah, it does. It makes a really... That's why it's called creamy tomato basil.
Grilled cheese sandwich with Fox Hills Kitchen Brew.
Did we
talk about that last week?
I think we did.
I'm apparently thinking about that a lot.
Yep. Also, last time we talked about Keto Fest. It looks like the Kickstarter for Keto Fest isn't going to happen, but Carl has a fallback.
Does he?
Yeah, he said, we got enough pledges that people can... that I think that we could just go ahead and do it. So he's going to set up a ticket ordering page and just do it straight rather than doing it as a Kickstarter. Chris says, is there a benefit of splitting avocado, heavy whipping cream, and an oil? Yes, fewer carbs. Or just doing one or the other. Also, do you think you'll update the calculator to include butter? I really need to do it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I've been thinking about it. Oh, I've been thinking about it for the last couple days.
Let's do it.
The problem is right now, you've got a all avocado oil, all heavy cream slider for back and forth. And I don't really know of a good way.
How do you do a three-way slider?
I don't know of a good way to do a three-way
Make
slider.
it a pie.
Yeah, I've been thinking about how to do it, and I just
He's gonna
really
be
don't
up
know.
all night thinking about it.
No, because I have
Trying
other
to
things I
sleep.
need to think of.
Oh,
Now,
brain.
like one of the really nice things about doing avocado oil, for instance, is that it's fewer carbohydrates, so you'll usually have higher ketones. If you've got heavy whipping cream and you add some MCT oil instead of some of the heavy cream, higher ketones for sure. Right now I'm doing butter, and butter has pretty much no carbohydrates if you get the right butter. So it's along the same lines as avocado oil.
It tastes
But it
so
tastes
good.
so good. Not only does it taste good, it's less expensive.
It's super cheap.
It's so easy to store. You can store it in your freezer forever.
Yeah.
So you buy it on
It's the
sale.
whole melty thing that's
Yeah.
the problem. It's the mixing that maybe takes.
Well, and another really fun thing about butter is TSA doesn't care about butter. They care about ghee. Miriam learned that. But if you have a jar of ghee, clarified butter,
It's because it was in a jar.
and well, at the temperature it was in Houston, it was melted.
It was melted.
But butter,
Yeah,
if
that's
you
why.
let's say you freeze butter
It's TSA
because you're able to store it that way, you could totally take butter with you on the airplane. You would just need a way to mix it up.
Haven't you done that before?
Yes, I have actually taken butter, but that was when I was developing the savory chicken soup,
Oh yeah.
and so I had a hydro flask with a
Butter.
half a cube of butter in it,
It's like I'm just gonna take my.
and
butter on
I went
there,
through security, and they just didn't care. And I found a coffee place, and I said, "Can I have some hot water for my tea?" They said, "Okay." So they filled it up. I had taken the butter out; it was still in the wrapper, and then I just put the Keto Chow in there and the butter and shook it up and forgot about it. And like 4 hours later, opened up the hydro flask and burnt my mouth because that's what hydro flasks do. They keep stuff hot like crazy.
Vacuum
So,
flask.
But I'm really interested to get my blood test results back from butter. So in
Yeah,
about
that'd be good.
2 days,
Have you been taking your ketones?
yeah,
Is that normal?
it's about the same as it was with heavy cream. I mean, with avocado oil.
Isn't it higher with avocado oil?
Well, I've been getting anywhere from 2.7 to 3.5 with my ketones. But high ketones isn't like a big deal. If it's above 1.5, actually if it's above 0.5, I'm happy.
If
with
it's
it.
on the scale, I'm
Yeah.
happy. If
But-
it doesn't say low.
But I'm really interested to get my blood test results back. So today's Tuesday. So Thursday, I should be getting my blood test results back for last week, which was my second week with MCT oil and avocado oil.
And then next
Really
week
interesting.
will be the butter one.
Yeah.
So
And
Oh, Susan had a question. Did you see that?
she said, is the keto way like Dr. Atkins?
It kind of is.
So Dr. Atkins did a really interesting thing. He used the observational data, the observational stuff. He noticed that when he himself and when he put his patients on a low carbohydrate diet, they would lose weight. He didn't do he wasn't coming at it more from a scientific perspective of let's research what's the optimal way to do it. He was basing his program on results. So if something gave him results, if something gave his patients results, that's what they were doing. And that works. Now with Atkins, the traditional Atkins, well, it depends on if you have the original Atkins or the new one. The traditional Atkins diet that we know of now, you start off essentially with a ketogenic diet. You're doing almost no carbohydrates, getting most of your calories from fat, a good amount of protein, and they call that the induction phase. And after you've gotten essentially into ketosis, you then slowly reintroduce carbohydrates until you are no longer losing weight, and then you back them off. At least that's my understanding. Now, I'll have you know that I made fun of my parents for doing Atkins.
My parents didn't do it.
I feel really silly about that now, and I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry, Mom. one of the big criticisms of the Atkins diet is that it tends to focus too much on protein, not enough on fat, compared to a ketogenic diet. But it is they do go hand in hand. Atkins diet is low carbohydrate. It's usually the easiest way, or at least it used to be, the easiest way to describe what keto was I would say it's Atkins, but with science. Not to disparage Dr. Atkins. He was fantastic. He changed the world. But when we just came from this ingredient show where we were walking around and talking to different suppliers, a bunch of people doing flavorings, different people doing different types of proteins, all sorts of stuff like that. We actually ran into a bunch of the people that we use, which is kind of cool. And I'm like, hey, when are you going to ship the beef protein?
Yeah, we're waiting on that.
So we can make the tomato basil, huh? They're like, it's coming. Anyway, so walking around, I was wearing my Keto Chow shirt, and people kept on using that as a way to engage us in conversation.
He used to wear a Superman shirt.
People would say, "Hey, Superman!" No,
Superman.
That's when we would go to the home show or the home remodeling.
It was just like 2 or 3 times you wore the same shirt, and we were at shows.
Yes, and so I started covering it up.
I'm never wearing that Superman shirt again.
Yeah, because it's not the salesman that you want to talk to; it's the one selling bamboo pillows.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you sell bamboo pillows, but I don't want to talk to you. Anyway.
I'm sure it was more than that.
Yeah, so we're talking about day 91. I'm doing butter right now. And like I said, I just recorded a video showing how to mix up chocolate with butter. I'll see how quickly I can get that up, line, and posted. Okay.
Butter popcorn flavor.
So interestingly enough, we got a butter powder, and we saw the company that makes that at this show that we were at. The problem is that the butter flavor, the powdered butter flavor, is really high in carbohydrates.
Yeah, it was like 5 or something.
Well, it's for every 100 grams.
100 grams.
Yeah, so when you get into, this is for all of you who are aspiring to get into food manufacturing.
Yay.
When you get the specification sheets from food manufacturers, they'll tell you how the nutrition content per 100 grams. And that is so nice. You don't have to worry about serving sizes. You don't have to worry about any of that rigmarole. And it's a large enough sample size and they usually give you stuff with at least 1 decimal point. So in this case, the butter powder, which smelled and tasted amazing. It was insanely good smelling. And I put some on pork rinds. It was good.
That was good.
Yeah, it was the Lawry's, Lawrys, microwave pork rinds. So you microwave them just like microwave popcorn. And then I put a bunch of the butter powder on. Problem was, for every 100 grams, it was, I think, 60 grams of carbohydrates. So it was for every 10 grams, there was 6 grams of carbohydrates. So it was pretty high. It was 60% carbs. So it's not something we could use in Keto Chow.
It was a nice thought.
Turns out you can use real butter, which is 0 grams of carbs.
And it's even more delicious.
It's super delicious.
You should put that on pork rinds.
What?
Butter.
Well, yeah. That's a good idea. Okay. So, usually we go through and we... well, that sounds painful. Yeah, try not to sit on them. Sorry, Homestar Runner. Anyway, so we usually go through beforehand and get a list of talking points, just in case people don't ask us questions. But Paula said, I'm trying to stay doing keto very hard, but I also find it difficult and frustrating counting calories, carbs, and fat. So I didn't see this question until... Well, Miriam had seen it, and a bunch of other people. There were 15 comments on the thread about it. So, Miriam, what were some of the suggestions that she got?
Well, the one I said was just count your carbs.
Okay, yeah, just count your carbs.
Start simple and small. And I know she's been doing it for a while. She's pretty experienced. ketoing, but it is hard to track all the time, and a lot of people did suggest use a tracker, use chronometer, or that, but I think sometimes you just need to not stress out so much about all the numbers. That was my thought.
Yeah.
Do you remember what anybody else said?
Well, so Beverly said just don't bother tracking. My recommendation would be using tracking is a very good tool, especially if you've stalled. If you're not doing very well, if you aren't losing weight as much, putting everything in, and you can use that to help you find out where you're going overboard. After a while of tracking, if you're continuing to have success, you'll kind of just you'll just have an understanding of, if I eat these foods, I know that I'm getting the right nutrition, which is one really cool thing about using something like a chronometer. You can tell if you're low on selenium or vitamin K or any number of things. But it's a good way to tell if you're low on something. And once you start to get a feel for the ketogenic diet, a lot of people will then switch into what they usually call lazy keto, which is you're not really tracking stuff. Now, if you're having success doing that, don't sweat it. Just keep your carbs low. Your protein is a goal. You're trying to get to that, and fat is a limit. So if you use a calculator, and that's one of the other questions we have, is there are a bunch of different calculators out there that you put in your information, and it will tell you how many calories a day, how much protein, how much fat, and all that other stuff you should be getting. On the Keto Chow calorie calculator, we link to one. There are several others out there. I personally like the format of the one that we link to, but there are lots of other ones. Maria Emmerich even has a good one that I think she has like a thing that you can use to count for stalls, like help you break a stall. Anyway.
I love Maria.
So if you're having success not tracking, don't worry about it. If you're starting to stall, if you're having problems, then tracking is a good tool. Anyway.
But what he was going to say is there's multiple tracking things. And
there are. There's Carb Manager.
Nothing is going to be perfect.
There's Chronometer. There's MyFitnessPal. Some of them are specifically designed for doing keto. Other ones are more general, like MyFitnessPal.
A couple keto ones we haven't heard of before. But you still want to do your best. It's your best estimating, pretty much. Like even if you weigh your food, it's still not going to be perfect. Yeah. Sorry.
And so right now, I'm doing the super lazy tracking way. I'm eating the same thing every day. So
repeat yesterday.
It's actually it's kind of funny. You can in Chronometer you can tell it copy previous day. So what I did is when for instance, right now I'm doing Keto Chow with butter for all 3 meals.
Sure, I'm apparently tired.
I just put in 3 meals of Keto Chow. I put in salted butter, played with the number until I got the number of grams that was the right amount of calories for what I'm doing. And then I just said, I went to the next day and said, copy previous day, copy previous day, copy previous day, copy previous day, copy previous day. And just, I filled 2 weeks of food tracking.
You're so lazy.
And it's one of the good things. Now, Lisa, she just got on, just joining. If you have covered this already, I'm not happy about your April Fool's joke.
Sorry.
I get excited anytime I think a new product is out. I was so disappointed to realize it was a joke. Although, once I went back and truly read the poster, it was very funny. And again, the product is real. It's just called Keto Chow Electrolyte Drops. So, sorry if we got you going there. I did try to make it funny with the little asterisk that talked about organic versus inorganic and marketing and all that other stuff. But and for those of you who don't know, if you came on a bit late, we introduced yesterday Keto Chow Zero, which is sugar-free, calorie-free, fat-free, vegan, paleo. It might be kosher.
It was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, it was an April Fool's joke. Okay. That's what keto calculator you use. Pamela wants to know, Are snacks allowed between shakes and meals? If so, suggestions. Now, number one.
What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, no, before that.
Oh.
Even before we get to the... even before we get that. Allowed. Okay. There's no keto police.
No keto police.
Okay. On the keto subreddit, they like to talk about if it fits your macros.
Yeah.
You've got 20 grams of carbohydrates a day. Can you eat a Snickers bar on a ketogenic diet?
Yeah.
Well, you can, but it's an awful waste of your carbs.
And then you'd be out. I'm sure if I ate a Snickers bar, I would be out.
Now, would eating a Snickers bar be a good way to have you realize that Snickers bars don't taste as good as you think they tasted? As you remember?
Tasting.
I've found
Hi,
that most stuff does not taste as good as you remember.
I know, you have that up here in your mind, and then you taste... Oh, sorry. Where is it?
Yeah, over this way. It's backwards, now down.
You have it up here in your mind, and then you taste it, and it's like...
Oh,
right here.
That wasn't
like,
as good.
I've been dreaming about these for so long.
Maybe I'll have another ribeye.
Maybe I'll just stick with the keto that is making me feel better instead of this stuff that's not as yummy as I remember.
Yeah, and that's one thing. But yeah, so there's no keto police. Now, we try to keep our Keto Chow Facebook support group really positive, and if people start bickering, we have a couple of rules in place. We will remove your post and send you the rule. That's as close as we get to the keto police. You'll get on some other keto Facebook groups.
They'll ban you.
And some of them don't have a very constructive spirit about them. I don't know the best way to pronounce. You'll have people who they'll get really uppity, and if you post anything about, well, today I made cookies with almond flour, you'll get someone who will jump on there and like say, you're triggering people by talking about almonds.
Or cookies.
Anyway, but there is no keto police. You can do keto the way that you want. And now Keto Chow, you can use Keto Chow the way that you want as well. It's just a tool. My friends tell me I'm a tool. And Keto Chow is a tool as well. But it's just a way to get proper nutrition for whichever meals you decide to use it for. Do you have to use it for all your meals? No. Can you use it for 2 meals a day? Yeah. Did you just get a crown up here after getting a crown 2 weeks ago? Down here? And so you can't chew anything because it hurts like crazy? Can you do Keto Chow for all 3 meals a day? Absolutely. Do you have to? No. Okay, so there's no diet plan with Keto Chow. So now, are snacks allowed? Miriam, what's your thoughts about snacks?
Of course snacks are allowed. I notice for my own personal self, I snack too much. Yeah. And I think that is not good for me. So I'm trying not to snack, but that's my choice. Yeah. We had a while ago in November, actually.
No snack November.
No snack November. It was really nice. So I felt like if I needed to have this thing, I could have it with my meal. But then when I was going to eat my meal and I'd be too full, I'm like, do I really need this? No.
Time for a Kirtland signature protein bar.
Yeah, and so
with your meal.
And I felt like I was probably eating a lot more than I needed to eat just because I wanted to eat. Yeah. Not because I needed to eat. And I think that was a huge problem with my weight, and still is probably. Yeah. So I need to not snack. But that's me, and I'm different than you. So you need to decide what you need to do. Also, if you're diabetic, you might need to eat more often than I would anyway.
Depends on where you are with diabetics. Some of them do really good with no snacking and just sticking to low carb. Others kind of need that, but
if you're gonna dip, yeah. So it just depends on what you want for you, and I think what you want to do is figure out, like, when you're using your Keto Chow, how many calories it's gonna be. If you're gonna have a snack, how many calories is that gonna be, or calories, carbs, anything, whatever, and kind of figure it out into your day so that you're not overeating.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to overeat when you've had 500 calories for a meal and then have this and this and this and this.
Well, that kind of goes back to the tracking thing. So I have a big problem with snacking. And one of the best things about me doing this 100 days of just Keto Chow, I can't snack. There's no snacking. Snacking doesn't happen. So I find that if I'm snacking, and again, this is me personally, I'll have a snack. I'll have like a thing of peanuts, a 1 ounce thing of peanuts, pre-measured. And then I'll have another one. And next thing you know, I'm having celery with peanut butter on it. And if I actually put all that stuff into my tracker, chronometer, Shari says that she loves Carb Manager. If you put all that in...
Carb Master.
Carb Master, yes. Then that might not be a problem for you for snacking. But for me, if I put it all in, I'll go, oh wow.
Oh, I ate 500 more calories than I should have.
And 15 more carbs than I was supposed to. Crap.
Yeah.
No wonder why I'm not...
They're all good keto foods, but then if you're not paying attention to how many carbs they are, or you're like, oh, it's 2 here, or 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, all of a sudden 2s add up to be lots more than 2.
Yep.
So that's kind of our thoughts on snacking.
Yep.
Did you see what Shar said about the 5.5 A1C?
Yeah, so I'm going to go back and do a bit of talking. Okay.
So congratulations, Shari. That's so awesome.
Lindsay is a new Keto Chow fan and can't wait to make her Keto Chow with butter.
Yay.
Lisa wants to know if we're coming out with a vegetable protein Keto Chow. We're not. There's a couple of reasons for that.
We don't have any plans for that.
We do not have any plans for that. I can't definitively say we're not ever going to, but okay, number one, we have the base powder, which it's all of the stuff in Keto Chow except for the protein flavoring and sweetener. So you can use whatever type of protein you want to. The other issue is I take a very scientific approach to nutrition, and I always look for the best nutrition I can possibly get. And there's a big problem with plant protein. When you normally look at plant protein, they're actually talking about the crude protein, which is the amount of nitrogen that's in something. And not all of that's in amino acids. And not all the amino acids are the right type. When you have an animal protein, it's generally speaking going to be all amino acids. If you want to use a plant protein, I would recommend that you definitely don't ever buy one that doesn't give you an amino acid breakdown. Mm-hmm. And actually type all those numbers into a calculator and see if they add up to the amount of protein. Because, for instance, the protein that's in beans is about 40% nitrogen that your body can't use, humans cannot use. So we do not have a plan to introduce a vegetarian or a plant-based version of Keto Chow with the protein, simply because I use it for the majority of my meals, and I do not feel confident in the nutrition given by plant-based proteins. That's it. I also don't like vitamin D2. I only do vitamin D3. I don't like vitamin K1. I do vitamin K2, which are animal sourced. And it's because I want the best version, because I personally eat it. And I'm selfish.
That's his thing.
So
it's all for him.
It's all for me. You guys are along for the
twist his
ride.
arm to get raspberry cheesecake.
Raspberry cheesecake and
toffee.
chocolate toffee are all Miriam.
Like, I want
they're
a flavor
fantastic.
for once. You pick all these weird ones.
Okay.
Snickerdoodle.
But
apparently it's good. So.
Emily says she will snack, but she does it smart. Paula wants to know, besides chocolate, what other flavors are awesome with butter? So I've tried chocolate mint.
Chocolate toffee.
I have not tried chocolate toffee yet. Okay.
I've tried it.
With butter?
Yeah.
You did it?
In the microwave.
But with butter?
Yeah.
Huh. I wasn't there for it.
Oh, also, and chocolate.
So I've also tried the savory chicken soup, and the creamy tomato basil. Tonight, I'm going to make with butter the raspberry cheesecake, the snickerdoodle, the chocolate toffee, and I can't remember what else. Anyway, I'm going to try a bunch of them. I don't know of any that won't be good, but I doubt that the strawberry will be very good, although I might be surprised. I'm not sure about the orange cream. Strawberry butter? I don't know. I do know that I did not like the strawberry warm. I tried heating up strawberry.
Why?
I didn't like the flavor.
Well, put strawberry and banana together. We can call it yogurt.
Now, Emily talks about smell is hardwired into our brains with memories. Oftentimes, the smell of certain foods are tied with happy memories and such, which is why we elevate those often.
So true.
Often foods is better than what we remember them. And Shari's A1C was 5.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Congratulations.
Yeah. Shari wants to know about the celery with peanut butter. It's good.
Tastes good.
Now, we usually use Adams around here. Most of our kids aren't doing keto.
Peanut butter with no sugar.
Yeah.
Well, and some keto police say that you can't have peanut butter, and it depends on what your body does.
And that's the funny thing. Different people handle different foods differently. I know people who cannot have any nightshades.
Yeah. My dad
nightshades
can't have them.
And nightshades aren't just the nightshade, that you don't want to eat. That also includes peppers, tomatoes, eggplant, bunch of stuff. So no tomatoes, no tomato sauces,
no pizza,
no jalapeno poppers.
Sad.
No nothing.
I want that next week.
You might get it next week. So
jalapeno poppers.
Oh,
bring it on.
Shari wants to make sure we mention the Keto 3 giveaway. We'll get to that in a second.
Shari does?
Sorry, Lori. Shari says, my body loves peanut butter, and Christine wants to know, how much butter do you use?
It depends on you.
It depends on how many calories you want.
So we've been using...
Miriam's been using a half a stick.
Fourth of a cup?
No,
I used a stick and a half.
Miriam's been using a half of a stick per meal and mixing up 3 at a time. And
half of a stick per meal?
Yeah, that's a stick and a half for 3 meals.
A half of a stick and a stick and a half is not the same thing.
A half of a stick per meal for 3 meals.
Oh, I see.
Is a stick and a half.
We mixed 3 meals together.
We're doing 3 at a meal. Now, you don't have to use a half of a stick.
I got it.
That may be too many calories for you. It may be too little calories.
I'm a tall girl, too, so
yeah.
I eat more than regular cute small girls.
Melissa says a coworker gave her some samples of salted caramel.
Yes.
And somebody recommended I try salted caramel with butter.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think that would be pretty good.
That would be yummy.
Although I'm actually a lot more excited to try the chocolate toffee with butter.
Oh, that'll be good.
That'll be off the rails.
It's really good. Let's try it.
Anyway, so there are different people handle different things. I know people who are along with nightshades. I know a lady who cannot have any plants of any kind. The only plant she can have is coffee. She can't have anything. She just gets really depressed.
Yep.
And so she's full on carnivore. Has been that way for like
10 years.
Is it 10 years? I thought it was 6 years.
10.
Anyway, other people do just fine. Some people don't do peanuts. Some people do. For some people, peanuts is a gateway drug that leads them down a dark hole where they never come back.
They all of a sudden start eating Frosted Flakes because they're a child again.
Yeah.
So everybody's different.
Yep.
Some people can do almond butter. I get sick of almond after a while because that's the only thing that isn't all the baked goods. So I'm like.
Speaking of almonds, a few days ago we went to a soccer game.
Yes, we did.
And there were a lot of vendors and a lot of people who were eating candied almonds. I did buy, it should be here in a couple days, I did buy some allulose off of Amazon.
I've never tried allulose.
And I bought a bunch of raw almonds. Yeah. And so Miriam wants me to make her candied almonds.
I want
so
Steve to make them too.
Anyway. Shari says she'll probably try a fourth of a stick of butter. Okay. Let's see. Raichael, I think that's how you pronounce her name. So it says, anyone tried mixing their keto chow with full-fat coconut milk? What are some other non-dairy options other than avocado oil? Well, we're talking about avocados?
I think we have heard.
Avocados.
Yeah.
I know someone who would put half of a avocado in a blender with keto chow and water and a little bit of oil and just run it through. And they personally love the flavor. Some people, they don't think that tastes very good.
I think I probably need to add salt.
Probably. And I think it'd go very well with the chocolate. I don't know about many other flavors, but the chocolate and the avocado I think would go very well.
We should try it because I love avocados.
Yeah, but I've got butter now. So,
okay, I'll try
so that's an option. I do know people have used coconut cream, which is higher on fat. I know someone who used coconut oil and got fairly good results. The problem with that is it tends to clump up. But we thought the same thing about butter.
Yeah, so maybe if they used warm water.
Yeah,
and
warm water, a blender, you might be able to get it to work. Cool. Yeah. Let's see, some other suggestions. Coconut milk. The problem with coconut milk is it tends to have a lot more carbs.
I got like 6 times. Okay, maybe only 4 times. Sorry.
Anyway, Megan wants to know, is it normal to have stomach aches the first couple of days? Started shakes yesterday.
Did you start keto yesterday or did you start shakes yesterday?
Yeah, keto chow. So a lot of the issues that people have when they start keto chow are it's just keto. Generally speaking, when people start a ketogenic diet, they'll tend to have diarrhea. They'll tend to have different changes in their gut biome.
Hair everywhere.
Regardless of if you're just starting up keto or just starting up keto chow, and you've been doing keto for a while, I would highly recommend a probiotic. If you go back on my 100 days of keto chow and watch the first 12 to 15 days, I regularly recommend to people, if they want to do 3 meals of keto chow a day, she started both keto and keto chow. Okay. So I always recommend to people to take a probiotic. And the first, I think I waited until like day 12 to finally take my own advice to take a probiotic. Night and day.
I've never had a problem, by the way.
Miriam hasn't, but anyway, so for different people, it can be problematic. If I take a probiotic, everything's fine. Now, Miriam and we've been taking some other stuff that's completely unrelated. I won't get into that. That tends to make our stomachs gurgle a lot.
Gurgly.
I do know people who, when they just start keto, it's too much fat for them. At first,
especially if you've been doing low fat before, you all of a sudden switch and your body's like, hold on.
So it's possible you might need to start with lower fat, or you might need to find different ways to get your fat. I know there was a person who I was talking to who they were having stomach cramping doing keto chow with heavy whipping cream. They tried avocado oil, and that worked, and everything was fine. They went on about their merry way, and everything was great. I know another person who it didn't matter if it was heavy whipping cream or avocado oil, they just couldn't do keto chow with fat in it. Yeah. So they didn't.
So they made it with water and then had
fat bombs.
Fat bombs.
They either had just keto chow for 2 meals and then got a lot of fat in their third meal of solid, or they used fat bombs. And there's a lot of great fat bomb recipes.
Yeah, you could really do it however you want.
Yep.
So
yeah, and especially if you're starting off keto, if you search the keto subreddit for "never trust a fart,"
gross.
It is gross, but there are countless posts, and this isn't people doing keto chow. This is just keto. So Shari, right now, my husband and I are having the weird gurgling, and sometimes that happens. And when I'm doing keto chow 3 meals a day, because it's all liquid, sometimes I just get gurgly stomach noises. It's kind of weird. But
yeah, I notice if I eat earlier in the day, it's better.
Yep.
Like I don't get a tummy ache. I get a tummy ache if I eat late at night.
Yeah, we don't like to eat late at night. If we're going to go out to eat, we'll usually do it at like 4 or 5.
We like to eat with the old people.
Yeah, all the old people who go out in the afternoon.
Hey, and then we beat the rush, and
Yeah.
then we can come back and play games or whatever.
Yep. We are so old. Oh
We
my gosh.
are.
It's like I have gray hair up here or something.
Yeah, I do
Anyway.
too.
So Chris S. had a question about, not me Chris, different question, about my 100 days. He wanted to know what drinks I've been using the most. A lot of people will use black coffee or they'll use tea.
Hello, legs.
I personally, I think that coffee smells like burnt popcorn, so I don't use it. I also think that cucumbers smell like glass cleaner. So
This is weird.
I am weird. So the drinks that I've relied upon the most is primarily diet soda. Well, also I'll have water. We'll use the Crystal Light drop-ins, which if you look at them, they actually have about 1 gram of carbohydrates in them, the little tear-off packets, because they do have some maltodextrin in them.
There's some, like the little other drop.
Yeah, there's the squeezy Mio drop things.
You just want to get the one that has the lowest and
Yeah.
the least amount of random stuff. Hey, Carol said we're elderly.
Yes, we are. But I do drink a fair amount of diet soda, and that's something that the keto police will get after me about. But frankly, with a average blood ketones of 3.0 for the last like 60 days, I don't care about the keto police. I will drink diet soda as much as I want. So stick that in your ear. Anyway, now when I'm not doing just Keto Chow for all of my meals, one of my favorite, I guess you could say, snacks or drinks. And then when I was first starting off keto and I needed something,
Something that
I would
replace the
diet root beer
treat or something
with some heavy cream. That's it.
Yeah, we
Just a
still
dollop.
really like to do that.
It's a super
ice
treat.
cream.
It's like a
It's so
super root beer float.
delicious. Yeah.
That and string cheese is what got me through the first month of doing keto. So I still like me some diet root beer with heavy cream in it, but I haven't done it for a while because I'm just doing only Keto Chow and I'm maintaining my calories at a very strict amount. So
Yeah.
let's
Shari
see.
suggested the ice water. I guess it sounds like ice water. Those, the long skinny ones that you can get at
Oh, yeah.
Costco or whatever.
Well, and we just
I like those too.
We got some ones at Sam's Club that are flavored waters that are actually pretty good.
Oh yeah.
They just look like a water bottle. They're probably
they're
twice
flavored.
the price. Anyway.
You have to be careful with flavored stuff though, because they, sometimes
Yeah.
have hidden things. So you have to still watch it.
Oh, and the ice water.
BAI coconut water.
Yeah.
Good too.
And I don't like those because I don't like the I don't like the green tea extract in it. I haven't seen any real good data. I'm not going to get into green tea. I'm not going to go into that. Never mind. Sorry I brought it up. But
So Carol Stevenson said,
what?
I can't read it.
Not you guys, the old people who eat early. Yeah, we're
okay.
old people.
We like to eat with the old people.
So I like to not eat unless I'm hungry, which is kind of weird because I'm doing this 100 days where I'm eating no matter what. But that usually involves not eating breakfast until 11 or 12.
Yeah, like 10:30 when I eat breakfast.
And I don't like to eat late at night, so we usually eat it like 4 or 5 as early as we can. If we don't eat until 7,
Then
I
I
usually
feel
have like
I
bad
can't go to
dreams
bed.
and stuff.
I just don't sleep very good. I want to
Yeah.
walk and walk and walk and digest for hours.
Yep. Chris also wants to know if I'm going to use butter long term.
That's a good question.
The short answer is probably. The long answer is I won't know until I get the blood tests back.
Yeah, that'll be good to see.
Because, so my blood tests of MCT oil, well, at least last week's blood test of MCT oil with avocado oil was not very promising. The way that it's been depressing my HDL, I don't like that. And I'm really interested to see if...
Interested.
Oh, yeah. I'm really interested to see if the saturated fat in the butter will raise that up. I like, in my past experiments rather, I really like the effect that saturated fat has on my lipid system. Love it to death. So I'm looking forward to the butter. Melissa wants to know, do you guys take anything to increase your ketone levels?
Nope.
Now, there are some instances where it would be wise to increase your ketone levels artificially.
If I was taking a test.
If you needed to study for something, if you had a brain injury, a neurological condition, epilepsy, Alzheimer's, things like that, artificially increasing your ketones could be a useful thing to do.
We should have gave our kids MCT oil on their ACTs.
Yeah, we should have given them that. Although they might have been in the bathroom the entire time if we did that. Now, me personally, I have never ingested more than about a gram, and that was accidental, of exogenous ketones my entire life. I've never seen the need to do it, and that's simply because my purpose in doing a ketogenic diet is to lose weight. And if you are taking in energy from an external source, in this case ketones, your body has to burn the stuff that you're taking in before it uses the stuff that you have.
Maria Emmerich, oxidative priority talk. That's what you should Google.
Maria Emmerich, oxidative priority, in case you missed that.
The first thing you burn is
alcohol.
So if you drink alcohol, you'll burn alcohol first.
Before anything else.
Before anything else.
Number 2.
Exogenous ketones.
Yep. So if you take exogenous ketones, you won't burn glucose as much. You won't burn protein. You won't burn fat.
You won't burn the ketones that your body makes.
Yep. You'll just burn the external ones.
Burn the ones that you bring in. What's number 3?
Number 3 is glucose.
Glucose.
So, and after you've burned up all the glucose, then you get to protein.
Protein.
And after you've burned the protein, then you finally get to burning your stored fat.
So you have to burn all those things before you burn your stored fat.
So if you want to burn fat, if that's the reason you're doing a ketogenic diet, there is no metabolic advantage to taking exogenous ketones, to taking any drinks or any supplements that will increase your ketone levels. And again, like I said, there are people who benefit greatly from exogenous ketones. And I've heard of people, oh my nose itches so bad. I've heard of people using exogenous ketones
I think Paula, even on here, uses them to help with their migraine.
Yeah, she does.
That's totally
Paula,
legit reason. No, it's not.
Oh, it's not Paula? It's Paula?
Yeah, it's Paula.
Okay.
She's a white girl.
She uses it. Oh, you want your hair back?
Yeah, thanks.
She uses it for migraines. And I know people who use it to help alleviate the symptoms of keto flu, although it's probably the salt, the sodium in the ketone salts that's helping. Anyway.
Hey, there she is. She's a white girl, Paula.
There you go.
She said yep.
Yep. So,
I'm assuming
not
you're a
Paula.
white girl. You look
Paula.
like a white girl in your picture.
So, I personally don't ever use exogenous ketones. And we don't put exogenous ketones in Keto Chow. And once again, you can make your own. Your own are cheaper. They're the right stereoisomer. I'm not going to get into that, but it's the handedness of the organic molecule. And, well, I want to lose weight. And the way to do that is to use my own stored energy. So
I can tell you, I tried to do them for a little while, and I got a bunch, and I didn't really notice a difference in anything.
Yeah, you were using Perfect Keto, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to look in trying exogenous ketones, the Perfect Keto ones are some of the best.
They're a lot cheaper.
They're inexpensive. They're high quality.
They're better flavor. And it's not that I didn't like the Prove It ones, because I tried them. Yeah. I thought they were fine. And the reason why I got the Prove It ones in the first place is because I wanted to give them to my son because he was doing keto. And he was the one who was diagnosed with epilepsy, so he doesn't seize anymore, but he still has some problems. Mostly he just can't pay attention or things. And so
there's a bit of a latency. You'll say something and it's
actually doing a lot better the last couple of years, but anyway, we noticed a huge difference when he was doing keto, and so I thought, oh, let's try this, but everyone I gave to him he didn't like.
Yeah, he didn't like the flavor.
He likes everything. That kid is walking, I don't know, garbage disposal.
Yeah.
He just eats anything.
He's a goat.
The fact that he didn't like those was weird to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I had them and I drank them, and I thought I was doing good for myself, but I didn't really notice that big of a difference. But that's me. I'm different than everybody else.
Yep.
So
Special little snowflake.
I'm just my own.
Okay. Lisa, this is a sad story. Which is a quote from The Importance of, from Oscar, the movie with Sylvester Stallone. Okay, so Lisa's kids thought that her box of Keto Chow, unopened Keto Chow with blender bottles, was garbage, and they threw it away. And nobody realized that it had been thrown away until it was already...
Having my head in.
Hello.
Bye.
Until her box was already at the dump. We know your pain. We do these giveaways, which we'll talk about in just a second.
One of the girls that just poked her head in totally threw away our giveaway.
She thought the box was garbage. And it was like...
That was me!
It was some of our product.
That was you.
With two other companies' products that we were taking photos of for a giveaway on Instagram.
That was sad.
And we had to get more. I think we just ended up buying it.
Bought them.
Like
it was
us,
fine.
We bought it for Keto Chow for the giveaway because it got thrown away.
Because our daughter threw it away.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Now speaking of the giveaway, when is the giveaway starting?
Tomorrow.
So tomorrow
we're doing a giveaway.
If you look on our Instagram account, well, it's also on our Facebook account and probably on the blog. We'll be posting our Keto 3 giveaway about once a month. We do a collaborative giveaway with two other companies to make 3.
1, 2, 3.
And there's 3 products from 3 companies, and there's 3 winners. And it's 3 winners. So
go and enter all the times. You want to know who it is?
Yeah, who is it?
I know who it is. Us.
Oh, us?
Mocha.
Sorry, I thought you were pulling my finger, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Gross. Stevie Sweet Barbecue.
Oh, Stevia Sweet.
Yeah. And Curly Girls Candy.
Is it Curly Girls?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And that is the candy I want for my stocking at Christmas. It is so good.
I've bought that for you several times. It's so good stuff. They make that. It's almost like peanut butter
brittle. That's what it is.
With chocolate on top.
It's not peanut. It's pecan. No. Is it
anyway,
pecan brittle?
It's good stuff.
Anyway, it's so good.
Miriam, we're talking before the end of the year. Miriam might have had some that she had forgotten about in her nightstand drawer.
Did you eat it? What?
I think I left you a little tiny piece.
I left that in there on purpose.
Yeah, well, it's old. It's like 6 months old now.
Oh, it's still worth it.
Yeah, it's true.
You just open it, and it doesn't have a Ziploc top, which is not that great.
Yeah.
Just a minute, honey. And you just open it, and you just have one.
Yep.
And then you put it away, because it's so delicious. You can only just...
All right. Now, Miriam's going to listen to our daughter's question while I talk
daughter,
about...
tell me a question.
So, Lorraine...
On the TV.
Well, we have a cable hooked up to it, so that we can see it, and we can see the stuff.
Everybody threw away the stuff.
No, it wasn't me. It was her.
No,
it
was you.
wasn't. No, it wasn't me.
All right. Hey, we're answering people's questions.
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay.
Emily wants to know, are you guys considering doing samples of tomato basil keto chow and Fox Hill Kitchen bread to make grilled cheese at the low carb Salt Lake City conference?
That would be cool.
It would be cool. We don't have enough of it.
We don't have it yet. That was one of the things we were talking to somebody at the show today.
Yes.
We're saying, can you please give us our stuff? Because it's on order and it's just not here yet.
If we can pull it off.
As soon as we get it, we can start making it. But
if we can pull it off, we're going to do tomato basil at Keto Fest in Connecticut.
So if you haven't signed up to go to Keto Fest, you should all go because it's a really fun conference.
And Fox Hills Kitchens will be there, and they'll be making their grilled cheese sandwiches, and then we'll have tomato soup that you can dip your grilled cheese sandwich in. So, anyway.
She said.
So Lorraine said, I made my shake up last night with the Ninja blender as usual, and I got this 1-inch layer of stuff on the top that wouldn't mix back in.
So I'm thinking that we might have mixed it too much.
She made butter.
Yeah.
So heavy cream. This doesn't happen with with avocado oil. If you're going to use a Ninja, So one of those little capsules that really, really stirs it up good. If you want to use heavy cream, mix it first, then add the heavy cream. Because if you put heavy cream in a Ninja, it will make butter. It will churn it into little globules of butter, and it'll never mix in unless you heat it up, and well, then you could mix it in, as we just learned.
Yeah, you can just heat it up.
But yeah, that'll happen. And everyone, when the first time I heard someone describe this, I was like, I have no idea. I don't have any way you know why you could do that. But
those little ninjas, they're just crazy.
Yep.
Crazy blenders.
Crazy blenders. Okay. Stacy said, I just tried my first Keto Chow. Does anyone ever split it into two meals? It just seems like so much.
I used to do that all the time.
Yep.
Like every meal, I'd have 2 meals out of it instead.
Yeah. Well, so I can pound down a Keto Chow in 5 minutes. It's no problem. I'm used to drinking them. It's fine. Miriam, on the other hand, okay. So earlier we were talking about having stomach aches. At least you've told me in the past, that if you drink yours too fast,
yeah, I get a stomach ache. So I have to drink it a little bit slower, and that's okay.
And you'll usually
I'll drink it over like an hour period of time.
Yeah.
But then I get to savor it, and then I feel full, and yeah.
And lately, Miriam's been taking it to work, pouring it into a mug,
an adorable mug,
sticking it into the microwave, heating it up, and she'll slowly. Don't you have to heat it up a couple times?
Sometimes I do. Depends on how long it takes. But then I sip it out of a coffee straw, the teeny tiny one. The little
stirring straw.
And it's so good.
Yep. So, okay. I think we're pretty much done.
Does anybody else want to say hello?
I don't think so. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight.
We're going to get some rest today. We're tired. Had a big project and lots of stuff going on. So.
Oh, that's dead. It's not going to do anything. I have to stand up to turn off the thing. But thank you everyone for joining us for our Facebook Live. We'll be here again next week. Emily just said something. I can help make sandwiches with lots of butter.
Oh yeah, lots of butter.
Anyway, we'll catch you next week for our Facebook Live then.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Now stand up. Say goodbye again.
Bye again.
Bye. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye, face.
Hello. This is my big eye. Bye-bye.
I see your eyebrows.